This week on the Retirement Quick Tips podcast, I'm sharing with you 40 life lessons I've learned in my 40 years. Today, I want to talk about focusing on the things that matter. One of the things that I need to work hard and consistently remind myself is that I shouldn't care what other people think. Now, there was this book, I cannot remember what the name of the book is, but it was like the 5 things that people on their deathbed regret, like the top regrets of dying people is something along those lines. And it was written by a hospice nurse who spent a lot of time, obviously, with people who are close to death and interviewed them and then put all of these lessons in a book. And the number one regret of dying people is that they spent too much time living for others in like the decisions that they made and the things that they did were to please other people or to do what they think they should have done rather than what they really wanted to do or what would bring them joy and fulfillment. They were too focused essentially on trying to live up to other people's expectations of them. I would have never guessed that would be the number one consistent regret of dying people after hearing that for the first time. But now that I'm a little bit older, I realize how much we let other people influence our thoughts and actions and big decisions, small decisions, what we do for work, where we live. A lot of these decisions, they're not black and white. There's a lot of gray, and a lot of other people, our family and loved ones especially, have a lot of influence over those decisions that we make for better or for worse. So I do a lot of things that maybe I wouldn't want to do, but I do them anyway. This is important to a point. Like, you can't be completely selfish, right? Because I would be a horrible mother and a horrible spouse, and that would be a recipe for loneliness and no relationships with other people or bad relationships with other people. But I generally like people. I get along with most people, but there are definitely situations where I find myself that I'm like, ooh, why do I care so much about what this person thinks of me? And it might just be like an acquaintance. So I like people. I get along with most people. Like I said in one of the earlier episodes this week, I can be judgmental of other people in certain regards, but generally the better I know somebody, the less judgmental I am. Even if they do things that are worthy of judgment, I tend to give them a pass. But I like people. I get along with them. There are definitely people, though, that I don't like, and that's fine. I don't have to like everybody, and I need to constantly remind myself that not everyone needs to like me. Because sometimes, you get a vibe from somebody, someone at church, and I'll be like, why is this person always rude to me? And, I try to be nice to them. How are you doing? How's it going? And all I get from them is like vinegar in return. And I really let those interactions bother me quite a bit. But I have to remind myself, doesn't matter. If they don't like me, fine. Sometimes people too are funny, like they just don't have good social skills. So it may not even be about me. It could just be this person's like a bump on a log and they need to learn how to interact with other people in a more productive way. But if I stopped caring so much about what others thought of me, I'd probably make more clear-headed decisions. I'd have more peace. I wouldn't be so caught up in like, why does this person not like me? Why is she always a jerk to me? Blah, blah, blah. All right. The next thing is, if you want something done right, do it yourself. Absolutely. But if you want to have a full, rich, and balanced life, you need to learn to let go and let other people do things, even if they mess it up, or even if it's not as good as you. That's something that, again, I have to keep telling myself, but it is very important. You can't take on everything and do it yourself. But yeah, if you want it done right, yeah, do it yourself. But we got to have some balance there. So we got to let go too. The third thing in focusing on what matters is that it is true that the days are long, but the years are short. My daughter is 10. She'll be 11 this summer. And I know we still have many years left until she's grown and living outside the home. She says she wants to live at home and go to community college. And I'm like, good. Thank you. Also, I have more time with her younger brothers. Obviously, like my youngest is 2, so I have at least 16 more years until everyone's out of the house and off to college. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see, obviously. I don't know what their future plans are, but I can see already how brief our time is. And this applies to all relationships and is something I think we learn too late most of the time. We take others for granted. And I have a very close personal friend right now who is dying, and I've known her my whole life. And it saddens me, and I will be very sad when she passes. But I also realize that I haven't really talked to her all that much in the last maybe 20 years or so. So we learn too late how precious people are, and relationships are what matter most. It's more important than your finances, even more important than your health. And there's studies to back this up. If you have good quality relationships, you're going to have a good quality of life, even if you have lots of struggles in other areas and big things too, like within your health and your finances. Relationships trump everything else. So I'm trying not to learn this one too late and just appreciate the season of life I'm currently in for all of its struggles and challenges, however stressful or challenging it may be at times. I want to just soak up every stage and every age of life without taking that for granted, and especially without taking the people for granted. That's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Ashley Michike, and this is the Retirement Quick Tips Podcast.